Hello everyone, today we're going to work on training for officiating for hurdles. My name is Lorenzo Wilson. I'm the Vice President of the Panhandle Track and Field Association here in Tallahassee, Florida. We're here at Florida State University, and our first session will be with the hurdles, the setup and the position for officials. Setup for the hurdles. The girls' 100-meter hurdles, the first sprint hurdle race and track meet early in the race. We want to make sure the height of the hurdle for the girls is set for 33 inches from the ground. 33 inches of most hurdle marks will be the second hole from the top position of the hurdle at 33 inches. This is our first hurdle mark for high school markings. It's a yellow mark on the track. Some tracks may be red. On the ground, when you set the hurdle set up, you want to set the crossbar even to the front end of our mark that's on the track. We have a track here. On this track, it is a rectangular shape, so you have two corners. Some tracks have a diamond shape, so you have a point. We want the hurdle bar to be equal to the first corner of the triangle here, or the point of the triangle. If it's here, this rectangle, we put it here at the corner in the first half of it. That way it's closest to the hurdler. And each hurdle down the track, going forward, set in the same position. Across the track, we make sure they're also set in the same position. And once you set them up, stand on the outside, look across the track to make sure the bar are all the way across evenly, and there's no overlappage of the hurdles. We'll make sure there's a bit of a space in between hurdle 1, lanes 2, 3, 4, and so forth, so there's no gap. So one hurdle hits, it will not push the over and over. We want a gap in between each hurdle. When we set the hurdles up, there are some hurdles that are made, the old school hurdles, have some weights on the bottom, adjustable weights. These do not. These are the more modern type here from IAAF USC standard. Some weights have a way you can push them, slide them forward. If you have weights to be adjusted, adjust the weight number according to the height of the hurdle. Basically the lower the height, the further up you want the weight. So it will counteract, if the athlete hits it, it will give and push down easily. The higher the height, the further back you want the weight. Just that simple. Once you are ready and putting the hurdles on the track, we want to make sure during the time of competition, you tell all athletes at the start in their blocks. You set your blocks, but hold your start until all the officials are clear from the track and all the hurdles up. This is a safety hazard right here for the athletes and for officials. Make sure no one is on the track running over hurdles as the hurdles are being positioned on the track. Once the white flag is up and the track is clear, give the hurdlers and the starters time to now clear the first and second hurdle if the starter allows them to. Once the track is clear from all starts, the starter will give them their command to stand behind the blocks and stand ready. Position of the officials for your hurdles, your umpires. Here I have cones set up. We have cones set up to show you position of where the official should be for the hurdles. If your track is made so it allows them to be staggered, we want our first official at hurdle 1. Our second official will be across the track at flight number 2. You see across, you see a cone there. The third official will be staggered across on the inside again at the third cone at flight number 3. And across the track at flight number 4, you see that fourth cone on the outside. That's where the fourth official will be. So forth and so on, all the way down until all 10 flights are covered. If your track is constructed where you can't put someone on the outside skirts, where the outside cones are, you can easily just position them straight down the inside of the track. 10 officials, at best if you can afford it, 10 officials, 1 at each flight. The responsibility for the umpires at the hurdles is to make sure their 8 hurdles are set up evenly across on the correct mark and the correct height. Once they are clear, you give the next official the clear that they are ready to go. Once everyone is done, they tell the head official they're all clear. The white flag goes up to the starter. He will then start his race. If a hurdle gets hit in the time of competition, once the track is clear of all athletes, that official steps out, readjust the hurdle, set up to the right height, right mark, and then quickly get off the track. It's just that simple. Once the race is over and all competition is done, You reset the hurdles now for the boys 110 hurdles, 110-meter hurdles. Those marks will be blue on most tracks for boys or black at the university tracks sometimes. It depends on where you are. Learn the markings of the tracks. There are different color codings. Look at your rule books for color coding. There are some set, but some schools do have different color marks from the old versions. They have not updated their tracks. You may see some that's red that should be blue, some yellow should be green or white. Who knows? Just check and make sure that you see the track, you walk the track, know the markings and the color markings before competition starts. For the boys 110-meter hurdles, most times you push the flights back one mark and then set another flight up on the back end. Everyone has their own different type of styles. I push them up and push them back, depending on how the track is made. Either way, it doesn't matter. Just make sure the height for the boards are now set for 39 inches. 39 inches, we're gonna put up from the girls mark 33. We'll go up 2 notches. 1, 2. 39 inches for the boys will be the 4th hole. 1, 2, 3. The 4th hole from the top, counting down, be the 4th hole. That's 39 inches for the boys' high school height for the 110 hurdles. Same height all the way across, all the way down. Make sure again the bar is evenly with their markings on the track. This particular track, the boys' colors is a blue mark. So we'll move this hurdle back to the blue mark. Hurdle bar to the front end of the blue rectangle on the track. I will set up all these hurdles here in a competition situation that the hurdlers hold their block starts. Once the track is cleared, officials are off the track. We would then give them command, take your practice start, give them maybe 2 or 3 to warm up, reset them behind their blocks, and then we'll start the race once we get the white flag from the finish line. Same positioning for the officials for the boys 110 as the girls. We will stagger them, one official here, across the track at flight 2, 3, 4th, and so on. Again, if your track is not constructed where it's allowing you to put hurdle officials on the outside, we'll put 10 officials down the inside, 1 at each flight, all the way down. You can use officials or volunteers. If you don't have 10 officials available, you can quickly use a volunteer from the track meet, the meet management, have them appoint someone for you to stagger them out. If by case you have only 5 or 6 volunteer or officials for the hurdle, sometimes you can't get 10, then you will easily give one person 2 flights. So if I am one of 5 officials, I'll be in charge of flights 1 and flight 2. So I will probably position myself in the middle. Instead of flight 1, I will stand in the middle of flight 1 and 2, and I will stand here to watch 1 and I will watch 2. Any hurdles get knocked down, I step out on the track, set them up quickly, 1 and 2, and move myself back off the track. That's an easy adjustment to make if you only have 4 or 5 volunteers or officials that are on hand. And that really covers up the hurdles for the day for the boys. 110 hurdles, girls 100-meter hurdles, the height of the hurdles, hurdle markings, the setup, and the officials' positioning. Thank you very much. Now we're going to cover rules and regulations for the hurdle events. First, we talk about violations of what you can and cannot do as an athlete. What signifies a disqualification during the competition time? On the hurdles, rules stipulate you cannot touch the hurdle with your hands for any purpose at all, not to push it down or to try to control yourself for balance. You must stay inside the perimeters of your lane. Your lane is designated by the track itself, markings, and the hurdle length and width of the hurdle sometimes may be wider or shorter than some tracks. So you have to be mindful of that as an official. When it comes to touching a hurdle as an athlete is approaching the hurdle, if at any point in time they lose their balance or something happens where they deliberately reach out and push the hurdle down or touch it during competition, once all the athletes have passed that umpire, they will then raise a yellow flag that will signify that there has been a violation in that competition event. If all hurdlers have passed the hurdle and there's no violation on a touching, then there's no flag at all. He will not raise a white flag. Then we have a yellow and white flag designated for running events. If there is an all clear, there's no flag at all. After they raise the yellow flag, they will report that violation over to the running referee. tell them what event, the athlete's school, what lane, and what was the violation, and they would document that on the form and turn it over to the timer to signify that there has been a violation for that particular lane. And a out of lane violation where the athlete may be out of their lane during competition of the hurdles. As they approach a hurdle, an athlete may do what is called a hooking of the hurdle, where the lead leg may come out and around the hurdle as they go forward. This signifies also another lane violation, running out of their lane as if they were running a sprint race, because the athlete took their body part out of their lane into lane 2. If I was in lane 1, I went out into lane 2 to cross this hurdle. By doing that, I clearly was out of my lane during competition. That constitutes a violation as well. And my trail leg, if my trail leg comes across the hurdle and I hook the hurdle from the outside, that's also a violation because I've clearly ran out of my lane during competition. I cannot do that as an athlete. Another touching violation that also combines with running out of your lane is if an athlete were in lane 2 with the hurdle and they hook that foot and they clearly can see that you kick the outside lane's hurdle, or the lead leg hooks this hurdle and I kick lane 2's hurdle. Again, that's out of my lane. I have illegally touched a hurdler that's not in my lane. Now I'm going to get a yellow flag against me. Another type of violation also comes into impeding the athletes. When you're stopping the progression of another athlete, you'll see this most times in hurdles as well, where body parts touch each other, where you have a hurdler that has uncontrollable arm action. Once that lead leg comes across the hurdle, and that arm goes back and around, or the other arm comes out and it's out of my lane, and I hit the athlete in this lane over here. That is a contact, illegal contact, where I'm impeding the athlete. I can also get a yellow flag violation and be disqualified for that type of touching as well. I must cross all 10 hurdles. As an athlete, all 10 hurdles in my event. I cannot go around a hurdle during time of competition. If an athlete goes around a hurdle, out of their lane to go around. If by chance an athlete goes under a hurdle instead of going over the top. If an athlete goes into the outer lanes to avoid going around a hurdle. This also constitutes a violation of being not in my lane. Now, this is what happens most times in your 300-meter hurdle, 400-meter hurdle races, because you have a staggered distance between the two, and most kids will go around the hurdles, especially on the curve. Be careful watching athletes as an umpire on the curve of the 300-meter hurdles, but that's most times when you'll see an athlete go around a hurdle. You may also see it during the start of the 300 hurdle because there's a stagger over there, gap in between the hurdles. There's enough space for a kid to go around. But most times it will happen on the curve. And most times officials are never placed on the curve doing the 300-meter, 400-meter hurdles. You must have umpires on those curves to watch those lane violations for the long hurdle races. And the short hurdle races are 110 and 100-meter hurdles. Most times you don't have that where athletes will go around the hurdle unless they're in lane 8 or lane 1. And it's very obvious when they do that. Again, those are the violations that we have for the sprint hurdles and the long hurdles. Thank you.